Okay, so here's my picture, and this is what I was recently told from my aunt. There's me again. So my aunt told me that my ancestor, who was a slave, came from Ghana. Right now I'm on Ancestry.com, and I think Ghana's here. That's close. That's Ben Togo. That's where they say that my DNA came from. But I was told that my ancestor was a slave from Ghana. He was 10 years old. She even know the name of the tribe, but I can't remember the name because it's so difficult to pronounce. So his name was Popo. He was 10 years old. He came as a slave. They brought him to Guyana, right here, as a slave. Guyana was just there. And what else? I was told that down the bloodline, they marry indigenous females, like Aboriginal blacks or Amerindians. So based on my DNA evidence, I have very little Native American blood. It doesn't even say Native American blood. They say 1% Asian and 2% from the South. 2% from the South Africa, which is right here. Okay, and I feel that is that bloodline, or the people who was there in South America before they brought the slaves, and maybe some of them were our people. Some of them probably migrated from Africa and settled in South America. Cause America, when you look at the map right here, America and Africa is so close. You could take a ship and travel back and forth. And it's said that the currents, it moves where you go in the circle motion. The currents move like this. So it's very possible for Africans to migrate to America and back and forth, or the Europeans. So that's what I was told. I told my ancestor came from Ghana. And my grandmother, which I didn't even know, her father was from Barbados. I didn't know that. I thought everybody was from Guyana. No. Her father's from Barbados. And I learned that the slaves that went to Barbados are from Nigeria. So I am expecting to have Nigerian blood, to have Ghana blood, and Asian blood, because I have sickle cell trait, and the doctor told me that type of trait only comes from Asian people. So what part of your family is Asian? And I was really thrown off by that, because if you are a descendant of a slave, you don't know your family history, really, unfortunately. So and also my grandmother is part white. So I am expecting to have DNA from Portugal. And you know what? Ancestry.com was really dead on. And not only that, they knew that I am from the Caribbean, which is crazy. Okay, so let's go down based on the results. Okay, these two countries Bengal, Togo, Ghana, they're very close. So I'm mostly Ghana, which I know because my ancestor came from Ghana. And I was expecting mostly Nigeria because my grandmother, father's Nigerian. I mean, because people from Barbados, they supposed to have a lot of Nigerian blood. And Congo's right next to Nigerian. So I'm mostly of that contact. The other parts is Mali, a little bit Mali, a little bit Single, Africa North. So I'll move the camera here, the other parts. Okay, I'm gonna keep touching the mouse. This is the north part of Africa that say I'm from. Okay, and the other part is this southern region here. That 2% southern region, and I that's from the Aboriginal blacks or the Amerindians that live in South America. That's why I got that a little bit bloodline of that. So, and I know some people are doing their DNA test and they told their family was from Native America and they got Indian in them. You do got that. It's just that they only tracing the Native American from Asia. They're not tracing the Native Americans who came from Africa. So when if we would have done a DNA test, we gotta use our common sense, and we did a DNA test on a black Native American or Aboriginal black today, they would trace their DNA to Africa. Okay, so you still got that Native American blood in you, but they're not tracing it to Africa. They won't trace it. They don't want us to claim America because really, America is our country. We are the first, and we also came from Africa. So, okay. And I was expecting to be maybe like 10%, European, because, I know my great-grandfather is white, and my other cousin, she did hers. She was 7% European, but I am 14% European. So I was pretty surprised about that. Of course, they say I came from the Ivory Peninsula, which is right here, which is like Portugal. That's most of my European DNA. Portugal, right here. Oh, okay. Sorry. Portugal, which is right there, and other parts of Europe. So, oh yeah, I forgot to show you I wanted to also show you my parents before I go. Okay. So this is my grandmother, who is biracial. Her hair did not look like that. It looked like a white person. But, she got old, so, And here is my mom. She looks like me right now when she was younger. I'm not putting the recent pictures of my folks because everybody in Guyana know who they are. Okay, this is my mom. Okay. And here is my dad. Right here. So, and by the way, even though my dad is dark skinned, both his parents were brown skinned. Okay. Here's a picture of my grandmother on my dad's side. Okay, her father came from Barbados, and I know people who migrated to Barbados, most of them came from Nigeria. Okay. And was a picture of my grandfather. Okay, that's my grandfather on my mom's side. So, I asked my grandmother about his background. She said she don't know where he came from. They would say tribe. They don't know what tribe my grandfather came from. But my dad family, they know. And what else I was going to say about the whole... Oh, yeah. I also was told, like in Guyana, they kept the tribes together. So if one, let's say, if I'm just throwing names, like say a village was called Pleasantville, those are the people who came from Nigeria. And if there was a village called Friendship, those are the people who came from Ghana. So you know, that's what they used to do. But now everybody's mixed up. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I mean, you can see right here, you know, it shows where I came from, the west coast of Africa, other parts of Africa, a little bit of Asian in me, and some European. And they say I don't have I have 0% of Native American. That is false. I do have Native American blood in me, but like I say, they're not tracing the Native Americans to Africa. They only accept the Native American blood from the Asians. There was two Native American bloods. There was two Native American people living in America from North to South America. There was the Asians and the black, and they only counting Asians as Native Americans. Okay, so if you have, like you say, your family told you you have Indian in you, you do, but they don't want us to know that we also were Native Americans, because that means we have claim to this land and we shouldn't be paying no tax to live in our own country since we were the first. So I just want everybody to know that it makes more sense. So that's what they did. They came, they conquer America, they kill out the males, they bring the Africans over, and we mix with them, and we became a whole new group of people. Okay, so I know I have Native American in me. Okay, so it also show right here that I'm most likely, very likely, to be African Caribbean. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so that's pretty much it. You know, I'm very shocked that they got most of it accurate and they was able to trace me to the Caribbean. Very, very, very shocked. So that's it for now.